There is a free talk taking place in the Welcome Inn Hotel this Thursday night at 7:30. And my next guest and his group have been getting a lot of media attention over the past number of months. They're going around the country on a nationwide tour. And basically what they do is they aim to shed light on a number of things, like, for example, the specific events surrounding the Irish government's decision back in 2008 to administer a blanket guarantee to unsecured bondholders of Anglo Irish Banks. But they also touch on other subjects like what rights do Irish homeowners have according to our Constitution. They answer questions like, can receivers be removed from a business, and if so, how? Do the Gardaí uphold common law, of which they are sworn to do so? And other issues about rights to do with Irish homeowners according to our Constitution. So it's an interesting talk, to say the least. The man I'm speaking about, who will be the main speaker at this talk, which is called, by the way, People for Economic Justice, is Ben Gilroy. Ben, good morning to you.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm all right. First of all, why are you doing this, Ben?
It's because I see people in courts every day up here in the High Courts losing their businesses and losing their homes, while gamblers on the stock exchange got bailed out, and that's why the country's having the problems it's having.
And no matter how much media attention or pressure seems to be borne on our government about the dissatisfaction of the majority of the people of this island about what has happened about those blanket guarantees, the government are turning a blind eye to it all. They continue to, well, I know in the instance of the latest repayment, it's been long-fingered for, till 2025. But the bottom line is, Ben, that they ain't listening to the general public on this, and it doesn't look as if they're for turning on it either.
Yeah, well, that's democracy in this country now, isn't it? That the government don't listen to the people. I mean, before they got into government, they promised the people an awful lot of things, not one red cent. I remember Radcar saying, and Michael Noonan, we actually play a speech that he gives in the Dáil a couple of weeks before he got into power, how it was obscene to pay these debts to gamblers when it affects the worst in our society. And now all of a sudden they get into power and they have a brain transplant. But it's partly our fault, because this is what we accept as democracy in this country. What's
your own background, Ben, or your own specific interest in going around the country just talking to people like this?
I tell you, I had a friend who was a good little worker. I knew him for a long time, a great little working guy. And he just got into trouble with his mortgage and got evicted from his home and became bankrupt. And I thought to myself, God, this is a good little worker, and that's happened to him. And then I looked at these banks getting bailed out, and it started off at 3 billion, then it went to 5 billion, then it went 15 billion, and then it went to 75 billion or something. And the whole thing is that nobody actually knows how much we're bailing out. Nobody knows who we're bailing out, or so they say. Of course, we leaked the list of bondholders onto the Vincent Browne show, and that makes very interesting reading. But I mean, this is what's going on, while ordinary Irish people, like the people who are getting evicted, their same taxes are bailing out these banks after breaking laws in this country. So not only is there illegal activity here, we have the government supporting illegal activity. That's repugnant to our Constitution. And you know, we have a court case against the government right now.
And where's that at in terms of injunctions and so on?
We delivered the summons on the Taoiseach's office there about 2 weeks ago. We have a reply from the Chief State Solicitors asking for our full statement of claim. So we'll be putting down an awful lot of stuff on that.
And who's we, Ben?
Just a couple of unemployed guys like myself. Because, you know, this is what it has come to, that electricians and plasterers are now trying to bring this case. That's our Constitution and how it works.
So you're unemployed, are you?
I am.
And what was your business, Ben?
I had an electrical business.
So how are you funding going around the country and issuing these injunctions?
From people, the people in Mayo are going to just have a little contribution there on the night, and it'll pay for our petrol and bedding, and off we go home. But isn't it a disgrace that this is what our country has come to? We have elected officials who are supposed to be standing up for these people, and they're not. They're standing up for foreign gamblers or investors, as other people like to call them, and not looking after the interests of the people. They put the interests of the people second to the activities, the fraudulent activities of these international bankers.
Did you ever think of running as a candidate in the general election?
I haven't, but I may do. But the actual idea of politics is abhorrent to me right now, because the minute you mention politics to anyone in Ireland, you know, because politics in this country normally includes either Tweedledum or Tweedledee. We already had Tweedledee in when they made this decision during the night to pay back these bondholders. Tweedledum promised they wouldn't do it when they got into power, not would Red Sent. And we find out that Tweedledum is actually the same as Tweedledee, so who do you vote for?
Okay, but is it not better to be sort of in the room rather than outside the door?
It doesn't make any difference, apparently. I mean, you know, we will have a talk tomorrow night in Mayo.
Thursday night, isn't it? Sorry, Thursday night, Ben?
Yeah, Thursday night. My apologies. Thursday night. I do forget where I am now, going around the country. But on Thursday night, at the Welcome In, and we will have what we hope are answers, and we'll be looking for support. But basically what we're looking for is a thing called direct democracy. We used to have it in our first constitution. And that's where if you gather a number of votes, you can call a referendum. And the reason they took it out is because they knew that the people would have power. And they don't want the people having power. I mean, if you called a referendum in the morning to pay back Anglo Irish bondholders, what do you think the result would be?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Point is made. Are you getting good crowds around the country now to your talks?
Absolutely, yeah, we sure are. And a lot of support on the internet. I mean, the amount of support we even get from people in America and stuff, because we put on YouTube us handing in the court summons on YouTube. And the amount of people even from the UK and America and Canada saying that we wish we had people here standing up to our governments the way the people over there do. But it's a shame because we actually told the judge in the court that it was an alien route for a plaster and electrician to take. But this is what we've reduced ourselves into this country, that we're supposed to have a democracy. I mean, democracy now in this country means that somebody knocks on your door every 5 years and asks for your vote, and after that they go away, do what they want, total opposite to what the mandate of the people say. And that's what counts as democracy. People think we have democracy in this country.
Yeah, we spoke with another man from Achill a few weeks ago who's actually set up a website and is making the exact same point about democracy, you know, the definition of it being so different these days to what it is in our...
I mean, I haven't voted since I was in my early 20s. And that's a sad reflection on a lot of people that I meet because they say the same things. Because, like, you know, I was maybe one who's seen it so quickly that, you know, I was voting at the time of Charlie Haughey and stuff like that. And you promise one thing and given another. And then they come again, you know, and a couple of years later looking for your vote again. And you think, God, didn't you just get my vote and do the opposite of what everybody wanted and what you promised you would do? But we've accepted. It's partly our blame. I mean, the Irish people are to blame. We accept this for democracy. Like, and wait till you see the speech that we show on Thursday night where Noonan stands up in the Dáil for 10 minutes. You think the guy had a brain transplant then when he gets into power. And it affects the worse off in our society.
Are you the only speaker, Ben, on Thursday night? Or?
No, we'll have a couple of speakers. We have a good lady who used to be with Fine Gael. She'll come in and frighten you with the figures. And she'll talk about how she can prove that Ireland will default probably before the end of this year, if not early next year, and need another bailout, enslaving our children again. And, you know, you talked about Michael Noonan putting it off to 2025. You know what this means? This means now we're passing the debt on to our children who haven't even been born yet. They'll thank their forefathers for that, right?
Yeah, okay, it sounds to me as if people aren't going to be hearing too much good news, but I suppose if people do want to, you know, sort of tread below the surface...
At the end for them. So, you know, we have a plan, and sure, we'll put it out to the people, and we'll see. We're getting great response to our idea of direct democracy.
Okay. Anyway, it's the Welcome Inn Hotel in Castlebar on Thursday night. It's at 7:30, and it's organised by Ben and his group. They're called, or the talk is called People for Economic Justice. It is free attendance, isn't that correct?
It is, absolutely, yes.
All right. Well, look, thanks for joining us, Ben.